Quincy, there is 17.9 gigabytes. There you go.
Awesome, that's great.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I perform under Jaywood, and we're here at Mom's house. And yeah, this song's called King Cool. Hey, sorry to disturb you, is it late? So sorry, is everything alright? Just checking for the ninth time. You just know the way. I need you replacing things for days. So sorry, I can be so hopeful. You need to be more vocal. But I've got to try to see the good. The passing time tightens the news, and I'm still trying to keep my cool. Well, it must be good for something else. I can start a fight all by myself. I'm waiting, I'm guessing that it's your turn. The situation won't run. Is there something there? Beating on the floor is just not fair. Still waiting, oh baby, I can't hold tight. Just thinking through the whole night. I gotta hand it to you, why? Just seeing me around the bush to try. Still waiting, I think I need to go back. Just need to get us on track. Well, I've got to try to see the good. The passing time tightens the news, and I'm still trying to keep my cool. Well, it must be good for something. Trying to see the good. Passing time tightens the news, and I'm still trying to keep my cool. Well, it must be good for something else. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much for coming in today, man.
Thanks, man. It's fun to be here.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, just another artist we have coming in that ends up knowing like half the crew or
Seriously.
just other people. It's like the
It's Winnipeg's
community's so tight knit.
No joke. It's a very small place. You don't realize it until you start trying to mingle, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's super nice to meet you. This is actually, I guess, like my second time meeting you.
Second time. You
turns
had a
out.
much more Dave Grohl appearance the first go.
Yeah,
Longer hair.
Cut off like 3 feet of hair a few months ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah, back in the HMV days.
Yeah,
I met you.
good times. His master's voice.
Rest in peace. Cross your
Rest in peace.
I guess my first question kind of ties into like the death of
for
HMV
sure.
and stuff. With like the absence of CDs kind of these days
Right.
and like the rise of digital and that, I think everybody who's come on the show so far has had like a Bandcamp
Right.
or like a SoundCloud or something like that.
Right.
And do you think that like music is losing something? Well, it's like we're losing like CDs,
Right.
and the like more physical forms of media, or do you think it's like even easier for people to just put out their work now because you can just upload it?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's definitely a lot easier to kind of just throw stuff up digitally. Like, for me personally, I'll just kind of record something and immediately put it online and just not worry about it. But I think, like, the kind of meeting people and handing stuff out and creating that connection with them, that's kind of lost in the whole digital process. Like, back in the day, you have demos, you go to, like, a record store or whatever, and you be, can you please sell this? Which is kind of funny you mentioned, like, the CD sales thing. So I know that some CD places allow for physical copies of local artists to just bring their stuff in there. So that's kind of a way to keep that physical aspect around. But the digital age has definitely made it a lot easier for a lot more artists to get their stuff out there. But I feel as if we shouldn't kind of lose too much of just putting it all in digital. We gotta kind of meet people and have that human connection, I think.
Yeah, I actually absolutely agree with that. It's even for like video kind of like stuff that we're doing, like we can just release it on YouTube for free now.
Right.
And it breaks down that wall to
Right.
putting out your content, like putting out like these, like whether it's like visual or it's audio or whatever you want to put out
For
there.
sure, yeah.
It's much easier, but it's also, it's harder, it seems, to like monetize off it now.
Yeah.
Like if you're like a musical artist and you're trying to sell something, like people are gonna rip your music online for free.
It's true, you know,
with,
that's
like 2 clicks.
That's the thing. Like, I always put my music out for free just because I'm like, you know what, I don't really need to make money off it. I just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's nice for that. But I guess for visual content's a completely different kind of beast out there. Like, once it's out there, I guess you almost want it to be seen by as many people as possible.
I think so. It's still like, I don't know. I think we're still kind of figuring out how to work everything
Right.
kind of out for this show.
For sure.
But it's definitely just like the past 10 years, there's been so much
Right.
advancement, and like DVD sales and Blu-ray sales,
Truth.
and people watch less TV now than they ever did.
Very true.
Streaming is more of a thing.
I mean, it's like, if you can kind of binge watch anything at the click of a button, it's like, why do you need to kind of wait for stuff? Why do you need to PVR anything?
Or go to somewhere and buy it or something like
yeah.
that. But the human connection that you were talking about, like we both worked at HMV for a while.
Right.
And just like getting to know the customers and just like having that connection of like selling them this artist and like bonding over that.
Like, you probably
That was
had
wonderful.
like those 10-minute conversations with customers,
Yeah,
but like when they have a CD
absolutely.
and they bring it to the counter, then you're talking to them for like 5-10 minutes about the CD, other artists and stuff. I feel as if more like local artists were doing that and just kind of making their connections that way, it'd definitely be a different kind of scene we have going on here.
Yeah. I love, like, I don't know, maybe I'm like old school or something. I still love my physical copies, whether like
for sure.
CDs or sometimes even cassettes, or like vinyl's a big one too.
Vinyl's the big one for sure.
But I love going to shows too, because lots of up and coming artists will always have like their CDs.
Right.
Or like Birthday Tapes is doing cassettes now in the city.
Yeah, cassettes are a big... I always joked when working at HMV that cassettes were going to make this comeback after vinyl was like...
And they did.
Yeah,
they totally
they're slowly making... I was really kidding. I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case. But now it's happening, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a weird one.
Yeah. I guess all of this kind of leads into my second question. We've talked before with other artists, like what's kind of like their favorite aspect about being an artist in Winnipeg, and what do they enjoy about it. But like, let's be real, like young up and coming artists, there's a lot of hardships to go along with it.
It's tricky, definitely.
Yeah.
It's Winnipeg, like just from this interview, it's a really small place, so it's like kind of trying to branch out from that small kind of, it's really tricky, it's really hard. So I think that's really awesome for networking reasons. Like when you have touring bands coming in, it's always nice to play with them, get to know them, you know, set up like a Facebook connection, and if you're ever going to the next city, maybe they're there, you set up more shows, and then you just kind of create like a network of knowing musicians and just kind of staying together that way. But when you're just kind of in the city and you're playing with other local artists, it's really tough to feel like you're kind of getting bigger almost. Yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky to feel like you're moving really anywhere, because Winnipeg's just such a small place.
It's breaking out of the boundaries of Winnipeg.
Exactly.
It can be really hard sometimes.
Breaking out. It's like, oh, I played in South Osborne, and then I played at the Hampton Daughter, just jumping back and forth between like the
10 minutes away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really tricky to kind of find new spots to kind of have a new audience in Winnipeg, because a lot of people just kind of jump to the central points and
the places they know. I think that's so I guess you're kind of saying like the hardest thing is just like building that network and like getting
networking
out of
for
city,
sure.
kinda.
It's really tricky, and like there's so many good artists in Winnipeg, and there's a lot of good artists that aren't really kind of in the spotlight. Like I have met so many cool people. Like I don't know if you guys know anything about the film festival going on, or the 48 Hour. Like they had a meeting, and like there was a room filled with musicians I didn't even know about, and I made really good friends with a few of them. And then I'm finding out there's a completely different music scene apart from the one I'm playing in. And there's a bunch of underground music scenes. So I guess it's tricky to know about those things unless you have that person kind of showing you that. It's really crazy. Like I play Darren Rudd in Black Cloud. He plays in Jaywood with me.
Oh, cool.
And I'm very grateful for him, because he was like kind of showed me the new music scene. Yeah. Which is funny how that worked out, because I had no idea that like there's like all this new indie music, like the whole kind of jangle kind of sound is more prominent now. Yeah. Like back when I was playing music maybe 3 years ago, it was all just metal. Just metal, and it was like all the same 5 people and like different assortments of bands, and it just was terrible. So it was really cool to see that it's come such a long way, and that's been really nice to kind of experience that there's even more of that I still don't know about. So maybe little by little, if people can just kind of crawl out of their shells and just kind of pop out into the little music scene we have going on here, we can kind of branch out more, I think.
Yeah, that's actually Brandon Gorelchuk from Pout, who we had on last time we filmed. He mentioned this venue they were playing at, and I was like, I've never heard of this before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think it was the Animal Shelter or something.
I think that's like a new venue. Like I saw they played with Lev Snow for their tour kickoff. Yeah. And I've never seen that venue before. I never even heard about it. So I think maybe with all these new venues popping up, maybe they kind of want the underground thing, because that's like the hipster thing to do. Like if no one knows about it, it's super cool. So only like the select few will go there. And it's like a very well kept secret. It's
cool to keep on like finding these different layers of the music scene in Winnipeg, though.
It's true. It's like it's really tricky when it's like, the Handsome Daughter, Goodwill, and I think that's really, and like Park Theater and stuff like that. Yeah. Just finding those smaller kind of places, and even like the bigger places, like the Animal Shelter looked pretty big from what I saw in like the videos. And it looked really big. So even knowing that there's these big venues that a lot of people don't know about is maybe promising for the future.
I think one of my favorites I've been to, I don't think it's around anymore as an actual venue, but the Purple Room.
I heard about that. Yeah. It was kind of in the Exchange.
It was in a warehouse in Chinatown, and the entrance was in some back alley. I never heard about it until James. He plays in Silence Kid now. I worked with him at HMV.
Okay.
I think he played a show there in his punk band. It was like this little venue I would never have known about, filled with people I would never have met. And it's just, it's cool to keep on, as I said, like uncovering the layers of the music scene.
Deep, for sure.
Because you keep on meeting like new people.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot of talent in the city that you just don't know about.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one more question for you today.
For sure.
Where'd the name Jaywood come from?
I knew you were going to ask this, and I wish I had a better story for it. My last name is Haywood, so I just put my first name and last name together.
Absolutely.
I wish I had a better story.
No, that's okay. I mean, Dallas Green is like city and color. It's a city and color for his name. So I mean, like, sometimes this is how it works out, and you get a cool name out of it still.
I tried to like do this really like crazy approach of making a band name, like Toro y Moi, like combine like 3 different languages. So that was like my first pro. I'm like, it has to be like Japanese, Spanish, and Russian. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's not working out.
It's not working out at all. So I took like the easy way out and just went with Jaywood.
That was like when we were figuring out the name for like Young Media, kind of like the parent group that Mom's House is under. And we're like trying to figure out names, and I was like, I don't know, Young Media. We're young. We make media.
Yeah.
I think that'll work for now.
Perfect.
Yeah. But
Perfect.
yeah, thanks so much for answering questions.
No
It was
worries, man.
Awesome to get to know you a bit.
Yeah, you too.
If you just want to introduce your next song, kind of go into it, I
For
think
sure.
we're good to go.
Absolutely. This one's called Mooncats. It's actually named after the Black Cloud album Suncats because it's like a thumbs up to Darren being in the band. So.
Awesome.
Hey, Darren. How's it going, bud? Yeah, here we go. Just give me a second here.
Thanks again for coming in. It was awesome to meet you, man. Cool. We're good to go. Awesome.
Or at the meeting, and we were just we stayed in touch, and he messaged me about a director of the music festival, so we just teamed up and we just started writing